Today we're going to be doing another unboxing. Here we have it, 3 figurines from the manufacturer Good Smell Company, part of their Popup Parade line. It's 3 figurines of the characters David, Martinez, Lucy, and Rebecca from the series Cyberpunk Edgerunners or Cyberpunk Edgerunners. So before we take the figurines out of their box, just in case you didn't know, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is actually based off a video game by the name Cyberpunk 2077, which is an open world action and adventure role-playing game, which was developed and published in 2020 by CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red joined with Trigger to create an anime based on the same world as Cyberpunk 2077, which we got Cyberpunk Edgerunners, or Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which is an original network animation consisting of 10 episodes aired in 2022 by Studios Trigger, which recently the series has gotten a manga adaptation, which is supposed to be a prequel to the anime, going by the name Cyberpunk Edgerunners Madness, which the story was written by, I might butcher this, Stibor Bartos, and art by Asano. So as you can see here in the background, we have is Rebecca, Lucy, and David's figurine in the back. So without holding you guys back, let's just take them out the box and see how they look. As you can see here, we have his David in his packaging. As you can see, he's wrapped in plastic to protect it from getting any scratches or scrapes on the figure. So let's just remove all this and see how it looks. Just like every Popup Parade, nothing really too special. It's just a black, transparent-ish type base. But here at the bottom, you do see his 2024 CD Projekt and other information with the figurine. So like I said, nothing really too special. So let's just move on. So here we have is David's Popup Parade. So as you can see here, starting from his boots, which like I said before in previous videos, Popup Parades tends to be on a little bit of the more cheaper, affordable range, so you're not gonna get the best of quality. As you can see here, the paint job on the boots are not the best, but it's still quite detailed. You can see here at the bottom, you do get the bottom of his shoe, which is a little bit detailed, which is his pants here is also quite detailed. You can kind of see they gave it fold because it's a little bit on the baggy side, so giving a lot of creases around it, which looks quite detailed, which I do like. But as I said before, the paint here on the side of his pants is not really painted the best. But here on the top, we do get his view of his iconic jacket, which I do really like. It looks pretty cool. As you can see here at the bottom, you can kind of see his little backside there. We have his logo here on the side, which is actually painted quite decently, as you can see. But the rest of the jacket, as I said, not the best painted, but it looks actually quite good. Just like the pants, you do get a little bit of creases on the jacket since it's a little bit baggy on him. Here we have his collar, which is popped up, which looks really cool. And as you can see, the rims on the top side of the collar with the gray is a little bit off, but not too bad. Here you have his right hand, which you can see is supposed to be holding his gun, which is, you can see his knuckles there, they're quite detailed. Here's the face here, which actually looks really good. You can kind of see his muscle lines here by his neck area, and the paint of his face looks really great. So as I said before, there are some parts of these figures that look really great. Here's the side view of his hair. And you can kind of see they gave him the back here of his neck here, where you see he gets the surgery to implant himself with that cybernetic upgrade. And it looks really great. You kind of see here in the back, it does have a lot of detail, but you can't really see it because of the popped up collar of his jacket. But I do really appreciate how it looks. And here's his top of his hair, which it's a little bit detailed, but not too much. You can kind of see here he does have the spiky and a little bit of a little back spike on the back. And it's actually a great figure, especially for the price, and looks really great. So let's just connect this to the base. So here we have is the gun that he does come with, which it's not the best in detail. It looks pretty, they captured it pretty good, but you can kind of see like you can see the trigger there is not really like cut off, so it's like, but it still looks pretty great. So let's just connect this to his right hand and see how and complete the figure. So that should complete David, so let's just move on to Lucy. So here we have is Lucy's pop-up parade. As you can see, she's also wrapped with plastic to protect her from getting any scratches. So let's just take all this and see how it looks. So just like every pop-up parade as we saw with David, nothing really too special with the base. It's a little bit transparent, and at the bottom here it does say 2024 and CD Projekt. So besides that, not really too much else special besides the different in hold positions. So here we have is Lucy's figure, starting from her boots area, which actually looks quite detailed compared to David. It's probably because they were trying to make it like almost like a latex look to it. Which you can kind of see the paint is better than David's, but you can kind of see it's still a little bit off in some areas. But it still actually looks quite nice. The boots are quite detailed. You can kind of see it goes up to her knees, going straight up. And she is actually in a slight bend, so she's a little bit positioned, how can you say, seductively, I guess you can say. Which is quite nice. Here at the top here we do get her belt here, and you can see here right here on the stomach area her latex suit is pressed up against her, so you kind of see a little bit of details there. And I don't know if you can notice here on the side, you can kind of see a hip like sculpt here, which looks pretty detailed. Here's the back side here going all the way up, and again, like I said, since they're more of the cheaper end, you're not gonna get that much details, but there's some areas which is detailed. Like here you could kind of see is a little bit of a sculpt there for her hips, which look quite detailed. Kind of see they gave a little bit of a formation here on her her stomach area, which looks quite detailed. As you can see here we have her jacket, or her cut short jacket. As you can see here we have is her left hand, which is supposed to be holding a little cigar. But besides that, you can kind of see her jacket is not really connected to her, which you can kind of see it goes through, and you can kind of see the bottom of it, which looks really great. Here's its front area here, where you can see more detail here on her latex outfit, and a closer shot on her face, which looks actually great, which Popup tends to do a really amazing job when it comes to their faces of their figurines. But you can kind of see here on her hair, it's not the best. You kind of see it's a little bit painted decently, but not the best. And you kind of see a little bit of detail, not too much, but you kind of see here a little bit of lines on the side here. But besides that, you kind of see at the bottom it does have her hairstyle here, and her hair is actually a little bit flexible, but not too much. So I can't really much else. I don't really have much else to say about it, but it's actually a decent figure. It does have a little pattern here on her left hand, but besides that, it's a quite decent looking figure. So let's just connect this to the base and see how it looks. Alright, so as you can see here, it does come with a little cigar, but this thing is super tiny, and I'm actually a little scared that if I drop this, I'm gonna lose it forever. So if you do get this figurine, do be careful with this, because this is super small and you might lose this, so be careful when handling this and make sure you don't drop it. But this should go on her fingers here on her left hand, which is a little bit flexible. So that should complete Lucy, so let's just move on to Rebecca. you can see here, Rebecca is packaged as well with plastic to protect her from getting any scratches on her paint. So let's just remove all this and see how it looks. So just like David and Lucy's base, nothing too special besides the hole alignment on the base, but it's actually just a clear, a little bit transparent base with CD Projekt Red and 2024 at the bottom. But besides the hole positions, nothing really too special, it's just a black base. So let's just move on to the figure. So here we have is Rebecca's figurine. And starting from her shoe area, which is actually painted a little bit more better than David's. You can see that it has quite a little bit of detail to it, but the paint job is actually really great for Rebecca's shoes. You kind of see there's a little bit of a pop tongue on the top area, and at the bottom here, which is actually also detailed here, you can kind of see the bottom detail of the shoe, which looks really great. We do have her flesh color on her legs area, and a little bit of text here on the side, which I don't think you can actually read that, but it kind of looks like it says I don't know if I want to say that, but yeah, it says that. But going up here with her jacket, which is pretty long, puffed up, you can kind of see we do get her underside here, and we can see here is actually a little bit connected to her, but not as much. But you can see we do have his detail folds on her jacket, and which makes it look a little bit baggy. You can see it's actually quite detailed. And here's the top side here, which you can kind of see the inside of her body area inside the jacket. And as I stated before, it's pretty decently painted here. It actually looks a lot better than David's jacket, which I'm a little bit surprised. Well, not really, but here we have is a closer shot, which you can kind of see her belly button from the top view here. We got a closer look of her front area here, which looks decently painted. You can kind of see they gave it more of like a shiny glossy finish to the paint on her sides. And here we have is her face, which is, you know, probably the best painted area of all her body. And you can kind of see they did capture her eyes, which look really great. And here's the top, where we don't get her large cybernetic hands. We have more of her more normal regular hands, which I do appreciate, which I preferred her when she had her regular hands, wielding 2 guns. And you can kind of see they're decently painted, not the best, but they do have their little triggers where she has her fingers in. We have is her top hair here, which is quite detailed, but the ponytails, or the twin tails, are not the best painted. But the middle here of her hair looks actually quite detailed, and the paint looks actually quite good. And looking at her hair this close kind of reminds me of Hatsune Miku. So she doesn't actually have anything else included in the box, because everything that she does, all the accessories she does come with is attached to her. So let's just connect it to her base and complete the figure. Alright guys, so that was Good Smile Company's pop-up parade figure of the characters David, Lucy, and Rebecca from the series Cyberpunk Edgerunners. All in all, I gotta say is I really do like the way these figures look, which these originally came out last year, but I held off on unboxing them because I was focused on other figurines. But now that I had a chance to, I was able to unbox them, and they look pretty good. But like every other pop-up parade figurines, the paint job in some areas are not the best. And besides that, these are great figurines, which is based off the Cyberpunk Edgerunner anime. If you have not actually seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a great show. A great show. I feel like it should have been a little bit longer, but what we got was really amazing. But besides that, guys, that's gonna be the end of this one. I don't want to keep holding you guys on for too long. I'll leave you guys off with close-up shots and other angles of the figurines. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Feel the rhythm of the streets, neon lights and neon dreams. Bloody fists, they feel no pain when there's so much more to gain. Hunting season, if you will, tell me where'd you rather be? I can hardly see the moon. Hope we'll get there pretty soon. Trying so hard to release you out of the misery. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. I'm not strong enough right now. Forgive me for letting